When Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis sat across from each other in front of Piers Morgan, the air felt heavy, almost electric. There was no need for theatrics. Both men knew that words could only build so much tension before fists had to finish the job. Jake leaned forward, unbothered, confident, and sharp-tongued. He declared that Tank would be the one lying flat before the 9th round ended, calling him easy work. It wasn't just trash talk. It was the kind of confidence that blurs the line between arrogance and self-belief. Gervonta barely reacted. His expression didn't change. He just looked at Jake, calm and focused, as if already picturing the moment his gloves would silence him. When asked how long it would take to end the fight, Tank simply said, 7, maybe 8 rounds. Depends on when I get him where I want him. It was a moment that encapsulated everything about this fight. Old school composure meeting new school bravado. Jake Paul, the internet's enfant terrible-turned boxer, was stepping into the most dangerous ring of his career, facing a man bred for war. Tank Davis isn't built on viral fame. He's built on muscle memory, hardship, and the kind of talent that's honed in sweat-soaked gyms, not YouTube thumbnails. For Tank, this isn't show business, it's survival. Yet Jake knows something about survival too. His entire boxing journey has been about proving the world wrong, turning boos into pay-per-view buys, and somehow convincing boxing purists to tune in even when they claim to hate him. He's a master manipulator of the digital age, a man who turned controversy into currency and attention into legitimacy. His critics said he'd never last past a real boxer. His supporters say he's changing the game. Both might be right. The truth is, boxing has become something different from what it used to be. It's no longer just about belts or titles, it's about spectacle. About the moments that break the internet. Emiliano Vargas put it best when he said Jake figured out the business before anyone else. In an age where attention equals dollars, Jake Paul has made himself a millionaire many times over by doing what traditional fighters couldn't, turning himself into a storyline. He didn't need Olympic medals or decades in the amateur circuit. He built an empire off personality and precision marketing, and that's what makes purists furious. For them, every viral fight is another crack in boxing's foundation. But the irony? Those same purists are watching. They can't look away. Because no matter how much they criticize, they know Jake brings eyes back to the sport. Vargas admits it himself. Jake is playing a game where the only rule is relevance. And Tank Davis, despite being one of the most naturally gifted fighters of his generation, has found himself in Jake's world now. That's why many insiders see this bout as more than a fight. It's a clash between eras. On one side, Gervonta represents the last stand of boxing's traditional soul: technique, power, discipline. On the other, Jake Paul embodies the sport's evolution into entertainment, a hybrid of influence and athleticism that purists can't stand but can't stop. It's not just gloves colliding, it's two definitions of success going head-to-head. Even coaches and legends are split. Veteran trainer Reg defends Tank fiercely, reminding everyone that his rise wasn't built on hype, but on hard-earned victories. He's climbed through divisions, faced real killers, and built a legacy that money can't buy. So if Tank wants to cash out now, who can blame him? If that's your plan, get the bag and go, Reg says bluntly. Because boxing isn't a long career, it's a gamble with your life. Tank's taken his hits both in and out of the ring. He's earned the right to fight on his terms, but the conversation doesn't stop at the fighters. Analysts like Gareth A. Davies look at this matchup and call it what it is: a spectacle, a freak show, and yet a masterpiece of marketing. It's the collision of two worlds that should never have met but somehow did. Davis, still ranked among boxing's elite, is walking into Jake Paul's universe where storylines sell faster than skill sets. And maybe that's the beauty of it. Jake has made the sport impossible to ignore again. Not everyone sees it that way. Critics argue that Tank's quiet demeanor during press events makes him look detached, maybe even disinterested. Jake Paul steals every microphone moment, turning media appearances into mini performances. Meanwhile, Tank sits still, barely speaking, eyes half-lidded but focused. Some say that's weakness. Others know better. Tank's silence isn't indifference, it's calculation. He's studying Jake, storing every word, every smirk, waiting for the bell to ring and the noise to fade. Fighters like Tank don't sell with words, they sell with violence. Yet even as Tank stays composed, the pressure mounts. Analysts warn that this fight, though labeled as an exhibition, is no playground. You can still get hurt. You can still get knocked out. And with the world watching, reputation is everything. For Jake, a loss would sting but not destroy him. He'd spin it into content, rebuild the story, and keep going. For Tank, the stakes are heavier. A bad night could tarnish years of legacy. Then there's Nate Diaz, boxing's rebel philosopher, who cuts through the noise like only he can. To him, this isn't a tragedy or a disgrace. It's business. He doesn't care if people call it WWE. If you're getting paid, you're winning, he shrugs. Nate understands what fans often forget. The fight game isn't just about pride. It's about survival, and money is part of survival. Jake knows it. Tank knows it. Everyone in that ring does. Still, the conversation around legacy refuses to die. Sean Porter, one of the sport's most respected voices, sees this matchup as a sign of changing times. He doesn't hate it, but he questions it. He wonders if boxing's next generation will fight for belts or for clicks. Are we chasing greatness or just cashing in, he asks. It's a haunting question because it forces fans to look inward too. What do they really want from boxing, competition or chaos? Meanwhile, social media debates rage on. Some call Tank washed, others say he's never looked sharper. Some predict Jake will crumble, others swear his power will shock the world. Every tweet, every podcast, every headline adds more fuel to the fire. The circus is in town, and whether fans like it or not, everyone's buying tickets. But underneath the noise, there's still something pure left. For all the marketing, the money, and the memes, the moment the bell rings, two men will face each other with nothing between them but instinct. And that's why people watch. Not because of clout or contracts, but because deep down, they still crave that ancient primal moment. The moment when talk ends and truth begins. Jake Paul believes he's ready for that truth. He says the training camp changed him. He's sharper, stronger, calmer. But belief and reality are two different things when Gervonta Davis stands in front of you. Tank has built his reputation on breaking belief, on making confident men crumble when the lights hit and the punches land. This isn't just about who wins. It's about what boxing has become. A sport built on grit now wrapped in showbiz, a sacred ring turned into a global stage. Love it or hate it, this fight is a reflection of our times, where attention is power and everyone's fighting for it. As November 15th approaches, the anticipation builds like a storm. The interviews, the predictions, the heated debates, all will vanish the moment that first punch lands. Maybe Jake shocks the world again. Maybe Tank reminds everyone that skill still conquers spectacle. Either way, one thing's certain, history will be watching, and now it's your turn to weigh in. Who do you believe walks out of that ring victorious? Will Jake Paul's confidence and size finally silence the critics, or will Tank Davis prove that real fighters still rule the sport? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And if you love deep breakdowns of the biggest fights shaping boxing's future, hit that like button, subscribe for more intense fight stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment where ego, legacy, and history collide. Because when the gloves touch, talk time is over, and that's when boxing becomes beautiful again.